Mr. Fun Computer always looked like the happiest one in Sprunki, with his colorful hat and flashing screen that symbolized playfulness. He greeted his friends with the word "hello," but quickly switched it to a funny smiley, as if winking. The propeller on his hat spun so fast it created a gentle breeze. Sometimes he tried to bounce on his base, as if he wanted to run along with everyone else. He loved inventing minigames right on his screen, drawing little mazes and silly puzzles. Even the serious Garnold once stopped for a moment to watch him play with himself. Everyone knew, as long as Mr. Fun Computer smiled, the world of Sprunki would stay bright and joyful.
Hello, would you like to have some fun with us right now? Come on, go sing along with us in this fun time. Hello, would you like?
The cheerful Mr. Fun Computer was changing his screen, seemed to breathe heavily, flashing bright and then dim. The funny faces he once showed now looked distorted and unsettling. The propeller spun on its own, even though there was no wind in the room. For a moment, his screen turned completely black, then displayed hell, as if someone cut the word short. The lamp above the desk flickered, and his shadow stretched unnaturally long. Wenda watched him carefully, but the computer only let out a faint digital creak. Somewhere nearby, Unseen Black smirked, knowing his magic had already begun to take hold.
Something is wrong. They are all inert. They're gonna kill you. Look behind you. You cannot hide her in anger. Run while you can. Run. Something.
The once bright screen of Mr. Fun Computer now showed ghostly black and white eyes staring directly outward. They blinked out of sync, as though trapped souls were trying to escape from the glass. When he tried to speak, only static poured out, crackling with a low, distorted laugh. The table beneath him vibrated slightly, as if reacting to the energy flowing through his body. Lights in the room flickered in rhythm with his screen, creating an unnatural heartbeat. Wenda whispered that it felt like the computer was no longer with them, but something else was inside. And in the silence that followed, the eyes on the screen widened, locking onto everyone who dared to look.
Something is wrong. They are all dead. They are not real. Look around you. You cannot hide. You are not safe. Run away. Run.
The once playful computer no longer greeted with "hello." Instead, his screen displayed a dark grin that pulsed in the shadows. The grin seemed alive, trembling as though it wanted to burst into a scream. His propeller no longer moved, hanging still, while the entire room vibrated with static energy. The smile occasionally flickered, showing jagged teeth for a split second before returning to its blank form. Even Mr. Sun, who always radiated warmth, felt a chill standing near him. The silence stretched long, broken only by the faint sound of static scratching against the walls. The grin on his screen was mocking, as if Black himself was peering out through Mr. Fun Computer.
Everything are messed up. We are all doomed. No one will save. Do not look back. You will die. You will burn. Run. Everything are messed up.
The little computer that once overflowed with energy now sat perfectly still, his screen swallowed by darkness. No flicker, no text, just an unending void, as if he had been erased. The table beneath him seemed colder, vibrating with an unseen energy. Each time the lights flickered, the black screen almost shimmered, like a hidden shape trying to break through. The friends who dared to look felt their reflections melt away inside the darkness. Even his voice was gone, replaced by a faint, static hum that never stopped. Mr. Fun Computer was no longer there, only a shell, with something else hiding deep within.
Would you like to have some fun with us right now? Come on, go sing along with us in this fun time.
In Phase 4, Mr. Fun Computer appears as a screen of endless white, erasing his once playful identity. The glow spills across the room like a flood, drowning every shadow in its path. Objects nearby distort and blur when touched by the light, as if being rewritten. No sound escapes him now, only a void that swallows every noise around. Those who look too close feel their own reflection fade, replaced by something unfamiliar. The white surface pulses faintly, like a heartbeat trapped beneath the glass. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer a friend, he is an empty gate, waiting for something to step through. In Phase 5, Mr. Fun Computer looks almost normal, greeting with the word "Hello" in bright letters. But the greeting never ends, it lingers, frozen on the screen, refusing to fade. When spoken aloud, the word doesn't sound right, carrying a metallic echo that chills the spine. The glow of the text pulses in the darkness, like a heartbeat syncing with the room. Objects nearby begin to shake subtly, as if responding to an unseen vibration. Sometimes the word splits into fragments, scattering across the screen like broken glass before reforming again. This "hello" is not friendly, it is a warning, a sign that something inside Mr. Fun Computer has already taken root. In Phase 6, Mr. Fun Computer appears with wide, pale eyes and a distorted frown carved across his screen. It looks like a child's drawing of sadness, but the emptiness in the eyes feels too real. Sometimes the frown flickers into a sharp grin before snapping back, as if something is testing his form. The glow of his screen casts long, bent shadows that move independently of the light. Each flicker of the image is accompanied by a faint echo, like someone crying from inside the machine. Even the desk beneath him vibrates softly, as though reacting to his emotions. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer just a toy. He is a vessel torn between sorrow and something far more sinister.
Hello? Would you like to have some fun with us right now? Come on. Gossip along with us in this fun time.
In Phase 7, Mr. Fun Computer appears as a swinging, broken monitor, torn open by jagged black spikes edged in red. The screen no longer shows words or faces, only chaos ripping through his frame. He creaks on invisible strings, like a puppet controlled by something monstrous. Each swing leaves trails of red static, splashing across the room like digital blood. The sharp shapes on his screen twist into patterns that resemble teeth, snapping hungrily at the air. The silence of earlier phases is gone now, the room is filled with violent, glitching roars. Mr. Fun Computer has transformed into a nightmare, a fractured creation devouring itself from the inside. In Phase 8, Mr. Fun Computer greets with "Hello," but the word is broken, ending in a jagged green square. The symbol pulses like a warning light, beating with a rhythm that doesn't belong to him. At times, the green block spreads across the letters, consuming the word piece by piece. His once playful glow now feels sickly, casting a faint toxic hue into the room. Each attempt to say "hello" ends with a glitch, as though another voice interrupts him. The distorted greeting echoes endlessly, looping like a broken tape. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer trying to connect, he is being rewritten into something alien. In Phase 9, Mr. Fun Computer appears mutilated, his frame twisted into a pedestal for a towering lever. The lever's head glows with a nuclear red eye, turning slowly as though watching everything around it. Every movement shakes the ground, sending ripples of static across the walls. The desk beneath him is scorched, vibrating with unstable power. His screen no longer shows words, only bursts of red static that sync with the lever's tilt. The sound of alarms hums faintly in the background, though no one can find the source. Mr. Fun Computer has become a mechanism of doom, cursed to serve as Black's ultimate control switch. In Phase 10, Mr. Fun Computer looks like nothing more than a blank monitor drowning in static. But the noise is alive, whispering fragments of words that cannot be understood. The static crawls beyond the screen, painting the walls with flickering gray shadows. Every few seconds, the snow sharpens into a single black eye staring outward before shattering again. The air smells of burnt wires, filling the room with suffocating heat. Even silence feels corrupted, replaced by the phantom hiss of endless transmission. Mr. Fun Computer has become a haunted signal, cursed to broadcast Black's infection into reality. In Phase 11, Mr. Fun Computer appears with a screen of pure white, glowing as if it holds infinite depth. The light does not comfort, it scorches, leaving dark afterimages behind the eyes. Each flicker stretches the shadows in the room until they seem to move on their own. The white surface trembles faintly, as though something underneath is pressing against it. The desk beneath him creaks, its wood beginning to splinter from the pressure of unseen force. Those who approach too close feel their skin prickle, as if touched by invisible hands. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer a machine, he is a gate, and the white light is the threshold of something waiting to emerge.
Hello?
In Phase 12, Mr. Fun Computer reappears with his hat spinning gently as if nothing ever happened. His screen shows the same cute face as before, but now it lingers too long, frozen in place. Every blink of the propeller sends a faint hum through the air, vibrating with hidden menace. His smile is wide, but when the light flickers, it transforms into sharp teeth for a split second. The cheer in his expression feels forced, as though someone else is puppeteering him. Even the shadows around his desk seem wrong, bending toward him instead of away. Mr. Fun Computer looks like he has returned, but this is no return. It is the disguise of something that has already taken control.
Hello? Would you like to have some fun with us right now? Come on, go sing along with us in this fun time. Hello? Would you like to have some fun with us?
In Phase 13, Mr. Fun Computer appears broken, his screen caved inward with a jagged black square at its core. Red lines pulse like veins, crawling outward from the wound across his body. Every flash of crimson light splinters the glass further, scattering fragments across the desk. The glow flickers in rhythm with a sound like a distorted scream trapped inside. The air trembles with each pulse, bending shadows and rattling the walls. The cheerful mask from earlier phases is gone, only violence and collapse remain. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer a toy or a vessel, he is the fracture itself, a machine being consumed by its own curse. In Phase 14, Mr. Fun Computer appears with a dead gray blur filling his screen. The static is faint, like ashes drifting in a void, but it never moves or shifts. The air around him is colder than ice, sucking the warmth from anyone nearby. No light escapes the static. Everything near him looks faded, drained of color. Every attempt to touch the monitor ends in numbness, as if the hand itself is dissolving. The machine emits no sound, only an invisible pressure that fills the chest. Mr. Fun Computer has become an empty broadcast, transmitting only silence and despair into the world. In Phase 15, Mr. Fun Computer appears toppled, his body slanted, and his screen flooded with static snow. The angle is wrong, unnatural, as if reality itself pushed him aside. The static buzzes faintly, but each pulse feels weaker, like the heartbeat of a dying world. Shadows gather beneath his fallen frame, pooling like liquid darkness. No warmth, no light, no voice, only the suffocating weight of a machine that has lost everything. Even the desk beneath him is cracking, ready to collapse under the pressure. Mr. Fun Computer is no longer a being of play or horror. He is nothing but ruin, consumed entirely by the curse of black. Brud in Phase 1 is basically a living meme among the characters. The bucket on his head makes him look like a lost NPC who wandered into the wrong game. He stands there with wide, blank eyes, as if his only thought is, "Why am I even here?" Yet characters like this always end up being crucial to the story. Brud doesn't realize it yet, but he's about to become one of the main sources of chaos. Brud in Phase 1.5 looks like he just got caught without his bucket hat skin equipped. Suddenly bareheaded, he stares nervously like someone who knows the update patch is about to hit hard. His goofy energy is still there, but now mixed with panic, making him look both funny and tragic. It's as if he's telling himself, just act normal and maybe Black won't notice. This awkward adaptation is his first step in pretending to be tougher than he really is. Brud in Phase 2 looks like he lost a fight with both Black's magic and a group of angry Sprunki. Half of his face is now pure nightmare fuel, while the other half still tries to act normal. He stands there like, "Yeah, I'm fine, nothing to see here," even though everyone knows he's clearly not fine. Getting attacked didn't stop him, it only made him adapt faster, like a glitch refusing to be deleted. This awkward survivor vibe makes Brud both scary and strangely funny at the same time. Brud's jump from Phase 2 to Phase 2.5 feels like he installed a cursed DLC he didn't actually want. Half of his head popped open like a glitch, replacing his normal eye with a giant, creepy one that looks straight into your soul. His teeth started showing like some cheap horror jump scare, and yet he still acts as if it's just another Tuesday. The other Sprunki now avoid him, but Brud seems almost proud of his new look. This phase is both terrifying and unintentionally hilarious, just like Brud himself. Brud in Phase 3 looks like he finally rage quit being weak. Half skeleton, half nightmare, he now stares like a glitchy boss fight you didn't want to trigger. The goofy panic is gone, and what's left is a creepy grin that says, "Your turn." He's not just defending himself anymore, he's learning to use the curse as a weapon. This stage makes Brud scary enough that even the other Sprunki think twice before messing with him. Brud in Phase 3.5 looks like he skipped the update and went straight into Final Boss Beta mode. His mouth is stretched open like some creepy in-game bug, and now you can literally see his ribs poking out. One eye is gone, leaving him with a void stare that screams, "I'm not okay." Yet somehow, he still stands tall, as if saying, "Yeah, this is fine. Totally part of the plan. This phase is terrifying, but also feels like Brud is glitch adapting faster than anyone expected." Brud in Phase 4 looks like the final boss that spawns right after you think you won the fight. His creepy skull-faced grin is locked in place, and his ribs are now straight up sticking out like a cursed fashion statement. He's not running anymore, now he's the one chasing. The goofy Brud is long gone, replaced by "please uninstall this game" energy. This phase proves he's gone full monster, and honestly, it kinda suits him. Brud in Phase 4.5 looks like he just unlocked his final boss preview skin. His entire head is pitch black with one glowing red eye, like a corrupted loading screen glitch. The goofy bucket days are long gone now, he's rocking full nightmare aesthetics. Even his smile looks like it was designed to delete you from existence. This is the phase where Brud stops surviving and starts flexing his cursed upgrade. Brud in Phase 5 looks like he finally unlocked the Nightmare Deluxe Edition. His head is split wide, showing creepy white stripes like some cursed jawbreaker candy. The ribs are still out on display, as if he's flexing his bone drip for everyone to see. The goofy Brud who once wore a bucket is long gone, replaced by a full-on horror boss. This is the phase where players just say, "Nope, I'm out." Brud in Phase 6 looks like he unlocked the Nightmare God tier skin nobody asked for. Half of his head is now an endless grill of sharp teeth, like some cursed vending machine that only serves fear. His glowing ribs look like neon lights, as if he's flexing his evil nightclub aesthetic. The goofy bucket-headed Brud from Phase 1 is officially gone now, it's pure boss fight energy. This is the phase where even Black probably goes, "Okay, that's too much." Brud in Phase 7 looks like he ditched the glitchy monster look and went full-on evil Minecraft boss. His head is squared off, dripping with blood like a cursed paint bucket turned upside down. The blank stare makes him look like he's judging everyone for even existing. His vibe now screams, "Yeah, I've beaten the game, and you're just side quests." This phase feels less like survival and more like Brud flexing his final upgrade. Brud in Phase 8 looks like he downgraded from scary boss to sad broken character skin. Half his face is missing, his ribs look like scratch marks, and that one big eye makes him look like he's permanently saying, "Yeah, I messed up." The giant black block on his head could be a helmet, or maybe just his new emo fashion. He's less threatening now, but somehow even creepier, like the game glitch that refuses to be deleted. This is Brud's final form, tragic, scary, and oddly meme-worthy. Brud in Phase 9 looks like the game devs went, "Let's crank the nightmare slider to max." His head is a mix of teeth, glowing ribs, and chaos colors that look like corrupted graphics. His smile is pure nightmare fuel, but also kinda like a bugged emoji. The bucket Brud from Phase 1 is now just a funny memory. This is full delete your save file energy. Phase 9 isn't even a boss fight anymore, it's the end of the whole game. Brud in Phase 10 looks like the dev said, "Okay, final update, let's break the game." His head is now double stacked with teeth and a giant eyeball sticking out on top like a cursed antenna. He looks like a boss fight that comes right after the final boss, just to troll the players. Even his ribs are showing off like extra DLC content. This phase isn't Brud surviving anymore, it's Brud becoming the ultimate bug in reality. Brud in Phase 11 looks like the devs just mashed every creepy idea into one skin. Half skull, half cartoon, with a random extra eyeball sticking out like a bad mod. His red glowing eye screams final boss, but his broken smile still feels like he's awkwardly asking for help. He's basically a walking bug, terrifying but also kinda pitiful. This phase feels less like evolution, and more like the game glitching out for good. Brud in Phase 12 looks like he stopped being a character and just turned into a cursed weapon skin. His head is half gone, his ribs are wide open, and he's got a blade sticking out like he's auditioning for Sprunki Dark Souls DLC. He doesn't even look alive anymore, more like a glitchy item you'd pick up after defeating the final boss. The goofy bucket Brud is now just ancient history. This phase isn't survival, it's pure game over energy. Brud in Phase 13 looks like he finally got patched and upgraded to a good ending skin. His creepy monster look is gone, and now he's rocking a glowing blue eye like some anime protagonist. He still has that worried face, though like he knows things could glitch again any second. It feels less like a boss fight now, and more like a redemption arc. This phase is Brud's ultimate plot twist from cursed bucket guy to unexpected hero. Gray loved order, everything in place, everything by the rules, even his ears seemed to stick out at a perfect angle. Wenda, meanwhile, lived as if every day was a carnival. She could wear 3 bows at once and call it the new fashion. They met in the library, where Gray searched for a book on silence, and Wenda, mixing up the shelves, read jokes from comic books out loud. At first, Gray blushed with indignation, but then, strangely, couldn't take his eyes off her. Their wedding was simple, but their children were born with humor. Even the youngest could make faces better than Wenda herself. Gray grumbled that their home was turning into a circus, and Wenda answered, "Well, a circus is still a family." And in that chaos, they found happiness gray and white, strict and joyful, the perfect balance to each other. Gray insisted on rules. Dinner at 6, bedtime at 9, silence after 10. Wenda and the children, of course, treated these rules as optional suggestions. One evening, Oren brought them musical headphones, and the whole family had a dance party that lasted until midnight. Gray tried to stay serious, but when the youngest jumped on his shoulders and yelled, "Circus time!" he couldn't help laughing. Wenda teased him, "See, even Mr. Serious can dance." Derpel occasionally visited to teach the kids monster faces, which made Gray roll his eyes. But secretly, he was proud their family had turned discipline and chaos into something magical. Gray still tried to enforce rules. "Dinner at 6, he said, though the candles burned with black flames. Wenda turned their family dinners into monster feasts, encouraging the children to roar like creatures of the night. Oren's headphones now played strange, distorted sounds that made even the bravest shudder. Derpel came by, teaching the kids how to make scarier faces this time. Their eyes glowed faintly in the dark. Gray rolled his eyes, but deep down, he feared these games were becoming too real. Even the family portraits on the wall began to twist, smiles stretching wider with each passing day. Still, their home echoed with laughter, though now it mixed with whispers that weren't entirely their own. The curse deepened, painting Gray's skin darker, with one eye always half shut, as if it had seen too much. Wenda's grin split wider, her voice cheerful, yet edged with madness. The children invited Simon to show them machines, but every invention sparked wildly, drawing glowing lines on the walls. They made a carnival of horrors in their yard, each ride powered by shadows instead of gears. Derpel became their announcer, howling through the night like a ringmaster gone wrong. Neighbors gathered, unsure whether to be frightened or entertained by the spectacle. And Gray, though uneasy, stood beside Wenda, convinced the show was the only way to keep their family together. Gray's skin turned ashen, his wounded eye glowing faintly red in the dark. Wenda organized shadow concerts, with the children humming eerie notes that made the air vibrate. Derpel joined in, howling in rhythm, his voice carrying across the night sky like a cursed song. Oren handed the kids headphones, but they no longer played music, only endless chanting. Neighbors passing by swore they saw the windows blinking like eyes. The family loved these concerts, laughing as the whole world seemed to tremble. And deep inside, Gray feared that their joy was feeding the curse itself. Gray's wounded eye flickered between red and black, while his skin seemed to fade into the walls. Wenda hosted a midnight feast, laying out plates filled with shadows that the children pretended to eat. Simon appeared, showing the kids glowing orbs that pulsed with strange energy. The children clapped, tossing the orbs back and forth until they burned holes in the air. Gray told them it was too dangerous, but his voice faltered. Part of him wanted to join in. Wenda leaned close, whispering, "It's just play," though her grin stretched wider than ever. The family's games blurred the line between fun and horror, leaving even Simon speechless. Gray's body was marked by deep red cracks, glowing faintly in the darkness. Wenda organized a Festival of Shadows, inviting the children to perform strange dances under the moon. Derpel joined them, leading the rhythm with howls that echoed far across the mountains. The children spun in circles until their eyes rolled back and the ground beneath them began to tremble. Gray tried to stop them, but his hands shook with the same cursed energy. Wenda pulled him close, whispering that he should be proud they were stronger than ever. The whole night ended with the family standing together as the moon turned dark red. Gray's steps grew heavier as he led his family into the mountains, where the rocks hummed with unseen voices. Wenda carried food for a midnight picnic, though the baskets were filled with black smoke. The children played rock echoes, shouting into caves until distorted voices shouted back. Derpel appeared, guiding them with his howls, which seemed to wake something beneath the ground. Gray placed his hand on the earth, feeling it throb like a giant heart. Wenda encouraged the children to sing louder, their voices cracking the stone walls. When the ground split open, the family laughed as if the mountain itself had joined their games. Gray's body cracked open, glowing with red veins that pulsed like a heartbeat. Wenda held the children close, teaching them chants that bent the wind itself. The family traveled to the Sprunki graveyard, turning tombstones into seats for their picnic. Derpel joined them, his howls harmonizing with the children's chants until the ground trembled. Gray pressed his hand into the dirt, and skeletal hands began to reach up, joining their games. The children laughed, playing catch with skulls as if they were toys. When the night ended, the graveyard had turned into their twisted playground. Gray's cracked face looked like it was carved from stone, his gaze empty but unrelenting. Wenda painted the children's faces with ash, calling it their battle masks. They marched to the abandoned Sprunki village, where windows shattered as they passed. Simon followed, hoping to study the strange energy, but his machines shorted out instantly. The children laughed, climbing over ruins as if they were a playground. Gray raised his hand, and the ruins trembled, collapsing into dust. By the end of the night, the village was nothing but ash beneath their feet. Black's curse pulsed stronger through Gray's veins, his body vibrating with unnatural energy. Wenda led the family into the mountains, where the rocks glowed faintly red. The children carved runes with their bare hands, leaving trails that burned even in stone. Simon followed again, but his machines melted, dripping metal like wax. Derpel howled, his voice broken, yet the children sang over him, louder, darker. Gray smiled for the first time in ages, proud of the nightmare they were building. By the end, the mountains roared as if alive, enslaved by Black's power. Gray's head pulsed like a cracked bell, bleeding darkness into the air. Wenda stood beside him, her hands trembling, yet she smiled as if nothing was wrong. The children wandered into the swamp, where they met Veneria, her vines twisting nervously. They turned her garden into a maze of hunger, feeding it with their own shadows. Veneria begged them to stop, but the vines grew wild, wrapping around the children as if alive. Gray's single gesture calmed the plants, but only to make them obey the curse. By the end of the night, Veneria's swamp had become a cathedral of black roots. Gray's presence made the air colder, frost spreading with every step. Wenda carried a black lantern, its flame alive and whispering names. The children lured Funbot into a strange theater of shadows, where the stage was built from broken mirrors. He tried to speak, but his words glitched, turning into screams from voices not his own. Gray lowered his head, making the mirrors shatter into knives of glass. Wenda laughed softly as the children picked up shards to play with. When dawn came, the theater was gone, but screams still echoed through the streets. Gray's teeth clattered as if he were chewing on invisible bones. Wenda dragged a lantern dripping tar, painting circles across the ground. The children pulled Owok CX into their game called Steps of Silence, where each step erased sound itself. He moved nervously, but soon the silence spread, devouring the voices of the others. Gray bent down, whispering something that made Owok CX's eyes turn pitch black. Wenda kissed the children on their foreheads, calling them Masters of Silence. That night, not even the wind dared to move through the village. Gray's jaw unhinged, his mouth spilling shadows that spread like smoke. Wenda carried the children on her shoulders, their eyes glowing like twin lanterns. They went to the ruins where Raddy once played music, forcing him to strike drums made of bone. Each beat rattled the earth, summoning echoes from beneath the soil. Gray stomped, and the echoes turned into howling spirits that swarmed the ruins. Wenda clapped her hands, proud of their concert of shadows. By morning, the ruins had sunk into the ground, swallowed by the curse. Gray's hollow eyes expanded, swallowing the light around him. Wenda's body split into two shadows, both smiling differently. The children lured Brud to their ritual, filling his bucket with ink that bled upward. They laughed as the ink poured into the sky, blotting out the stars. Gray raised his hands, and the ink solidified into crawling shapes. Wenda clapped, calling it the family's new sky. By sunrise, no one remembered what the stars once looked like. Gray's grin split wider, showing rows of teeth that never ended. Wenda's voice rang in two tones, one soothing, one dreadful. The children invited Veneria, planting her vines in circles of salt and ash. The vines twisted violently, sprouting mouths that whispered secrets. Gray bent down, listening, and the whispers turned into a choir of madness. Wenda lifted her hands, letting the choir echo across the land. That night, the village trembled under the weight of voices it could not silence. Beneath the glow of 3 moons, Oren and Raddy entered the Sanctum of the Lunar Masks, where they were welcomed by the wise mentor Sonari. Here, students gained the power of animal spirits by enduring 17 phases of duels under neon lanterns and wailing winds. Each stage required them to fight in a new beast mask, granting unique abilities while testing their minds. Victories rewarded them with crystals of moonlight, the key to the secret technique, Dance of the Night. Only by completing the final phase and revealing their true spirit could they earn the Mask of the Great Moon. Sonari guided them to an open-air arena where moonlight glinted on bamboo blades. For the second phase, they donned wolf masks to unleash the fury of the Night Hunter. Their opponents were veteran students, able to merge with shadows and strike from nowhere. Oren and Raddy moved in perfect rhythm, sensing each other's instincts like a single wild creature. When the battle ended, their masks glowed with a silver radiance, proof of the trial completed. For the third phase, Sonari placed owl masks upon their faces to grant the sight of midnight hunters. The arena shimmered beneath shifting moonlight, and opponents appeared as silent shadows gliding through silver mist. Oren and Raddy struck with calculated precision, guided by the sharp vision of their new masks. Each silent victory resonated like a heartbeat beneath the moon. When the trial ended, their owl masks gleamed with a cold, celestial glow. For the fourth phase, Sonari offered them fox masks, bestowing agility and cunning. The arena transformed into a maze of shifting bamboo, where echoes deceived the ear. Opponents darted like streaks of silver, testing their reflexes with sudden feints and ambushes. Oren and Raddy adapted, using trickery of their own to counter the relentless assaults. When victory was theirs, the fox masks glowed with a mischievous golden light. For the fifth phase, Sonari presented them with bear masks, symbols of raw strength and endurance. The arena shifted into a dense forest where colossal stone beasts guarded the moonlit paths. Oren and Raddy met the Guardians head-on, their movements heavy but unstoppable, channeling primal power. Every roar of impact echoed like distant thunder, testing both their courage and resolve. When the Guardians fell, the bear masks glowed with a deep earthen radiance, signifying triumph. For the sixth phase, Sonari gave them hawk masks, granting the power of flight and piercing sight. The arena transformed into towering cliffs, with currents of moonlit wind swirling between peaks. Opponents dove from above with razor-sharp precision, forcing Oren and Raddy to strike mid-air. Their new masks sharpened their instincts, letting them glide and counterattack with fearless grace. When victory was claimed, the hawk masks glowed with a radiant sky-blue light. For the seventh phase, Sonari offered them serpent masks, symbols of stealth and sudden strike. The arena morphed into a labyrinth of misty corridors where enemies slithered unseen. Oren and Raddy learned to coil their movements, waiting for the perfect instant to strike. Every victorious blow echoed with a hiss, as if the moon itself approved their cunning. When the trial ended, their serpent masks glowed with a deep emerald gleam. For the 8th phase, Sonari presented raven masks, granting the swiftness and cunning of night flyers. The arena became a swirling storm of black feathers and whispering winds. Opponents vanished into the storm, striking like sudden gusts before melting back into darkness. Oren and Raddy moved with silent precision, their strikes as quick as the beating of wings. When victory came, their raven masks gleamed with an obsidian sheen beneath the moonlight. For the 9th phase, Sonari gave them tiger masks, symbols of ferocity and unstoppable force. The arena shifted into a moonlit jungle, alive with distant roars and glowing eyes. Ambush predators leapt from the shadows, testing their strength and reflexes. Oren and Raddy countered with fearless charges, each strike echoing like a thunderous growl. When the final beast was defeated, their tiger masks radiated a fierce amber light. Ready for a challenge? According to statistics, only 3% of viewers manage to like the video and subscribe to the channel before the timer runs out. Write a comment if you made it in time. For the 10th phase, Sonari bestowed dragon masks, emblems of power and fierce wisdom. The arena erupted into rivers of molten rock where lava serpents coiled and hissed. Oren and Raddy leapt across blazing stones, channeling their strength to withstand the scorching heat. Their dragon masks pulsed with fiery energy, guiding each strike with unstoppable force. When the last serpent fell, the masks glowed crimson gold, blazing like miniature suns. For the 11th phase, Sonari offered phoenix masks, symbols of rebirth and unstoppable flame. The arena blazed with pillars of fire and swirling ash as fiery birds wheeled overhead. Oren and Raddy embraced the burning winds, channeling the phoenix's energy into fierce, rising strikes. Each defeat of a fiery opponent ignited a burst of golden sparks that rained across the arena. When the trial ended, their masks shimmered with radiant gold and crimson, embodying eternal renewal. For the 12th phase, Sonari presented them with stag masks, emblems of grace and boundless endurance. The arena transformed into a moonlit meadow where spectral antlers of light darted through misty air. Opponents charged with incredible speed, their movements elegant yet deadly. Oren and Raddy answered with agile leaps and perfectly timed counters, channeling the stag's serene strength. When the trial ended, their masks radiated a pale silver-green glow, proof of balance and resilience. For the 13th phase, Sonari offered them Panther masks, granting stealth and lethal speed. The arena became a shadowy jungle where moonbeams pierced the darkness in fleeting shafts of light. Opponents prowled silently, striking with blinding bursts of force. Oren and Raddy embraced the Panther's fluid grace, countering each ambush with silent ferocity. When the trial ended, their masks shimmered with a deep violet glow, proof of unmatched swiftness. For the 14th phase, Sonari bestowed wolf masks imbued with the power of the full moon. The arena transformed into a snowy mountain where moonlight glistened on endless drifts. Pack-like opponents howled through the storm, attacking with relentless coordination. Oren and Raddy answered with swift, unified strikes, echoing the spirit of the wild hunt. When the trial ended, their wolf masks glowed with a silver-white brilliance, symbol of unbreakable unity. For the 15th phase, Sonari granted them crane masks, symbols of balance and graceful mastery. The arena became a still lake under a flawless moon, its surface mirroring the sky. Opponents glided across the water with serene precision, their strikes as quiet as falling petals. Oren and Raddy matched their calm, moving with elegant strength until the ripples ceased. When victory was theirs, their crane masks shone with a tranquil pearl-white glow. For the 16th phase, Sonari presented them with lion masks, symbols of courage and commanding power. The arena became a golden savanna beneath a massive full moon, where spectral prides roared in challenge. Opponents charged in relentless waves, testing strength and fearless heart. Oren and Raddy met them head-on, their movements bold and unyielding like the king of beasts. When the trial ended, their lion masks radiated a majestic golden light, embodying true bravery. For the 16th phase, Sonari presented them with lion masks, symbols of courage and commanding power. The arena became a golden savanna beneath a massive full moon, where spectral prides roared in challenge. Opponents charged in relentless waves, testing strength and fearless heart. Oren and Raddy met them head-on, their movements bold and unyielding like the king of beasts. When the trial ended, their lion masks radiated a majestic golden light, embodying true bravery.